This is Kelly from Heels, Deals, and Wheels Mobile Home Investing Course, and today we're talking to Cassandra Banks, and we're going to talk about what you need to sell your mobile home fast. Cassandra Banks is actually a student of Heels, Deals, and Wheels, and she has just completed her first wholesale deal. All right, guys, this is Kelly from Heels, Deals, and Wheels Mobile Home Investing Course, and I always say we got a special guest, but we really got a special guest today. My own student, Cassandra Banks, is in the house, and I'm so happy that she's here. Cassandra, how are you doing today? And thank you so much for being here.
Listen, Kelly, I am doing wonderful today. How are you? And thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. So, Cassandra, you are a realtor, and
Yeah.
explain to us, first of all, introduce yourself to everybody, and then explain to us how you got into the mobile home game.
Oh, okay. Well, my name is Cassandra Banks. That's Cassandra with one S, not two, one S. And I've been licensed as a real estate agent since 2021. And I got into this mobile home game because we as real estate agents, we have our slow period. There's come a time if you don't have, consistent homes that you're selling or you're helping a buyer, you're going to run into that October, November, December session where you're going to pretty much be slow. You need to have a backup plan. You need to have something else going on. So I was trying to think, and I wasn't even licensed as a real estate agent. I was still going to school, hadn't got my license at the time, but I was thinking, I got to do something else. I got to have a backup plan. And I was on YouTube and came across this mobile home business. I'm like, what is this? I mean, Kelly, this was probably like 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm on YouTube just searching and listening to different people.
Mhm.
This mobile home game came up, and I sit straight up in my bed. I turned light on. I said, wait a minute. I know they're not talking about mobile homes. And I started
Okay.
really diving into it. And then I said, okay, I got to do something with this information because this sounds like something that would go hand in hand with my real estate business. So I did. I purchased a course and started doing everything. Let me say this: not doing everything, doing some of the things, because I was still in school, trying to get my license, and that took a lot of headspace. So, but that was my game plan is to work my real property in real estate and to work my, personal property with my mobile home business. So that's how I came to get into the mobile home investing, mobile home specialist.
Okay. And so, Cassandra, this was the second course that you took, correct? My course was the second course you
Your
took.
course was the second course. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, Cassandra, how are you enjoying the course thus far?
Oh, I absolutely love it. Let me tell you something. You're in my car. You coming through the speakers in my car.
Okay.
And
Uh,
especially since I was doing my first deal, I had to go back. I had to go back and listen to some of those things that I had listened to before. I said, because Kelly said this, and I know she spoke on this. Kelly said it behooved you to, everything was coming back. But I went back and I was listening to those because one thing about me, I gotta have the knowledge and I gotta look good. I don't want to be out here looking bad.
Right, right.
Especially something that was already told to you. Well, for me, that was already told to me. I'll go back and hear it again. And it's amazing how when you're listening to it the second time, you hear it totally different. Or you listen to a third time you hear it, it's something totally different. And you be like, I didn't pick that up. I didn't pick that up. I ain't gotta, I mean, I could be in the middle of texting you and
And
you'll be coming through my speaker that something I'm I said, oh, let me listen to this again. And that's the answer.
okay. All right. So, Cassandra, it took you a little time between purchasing the first course and closing a deal, and then purchasing my course and closing the deal. So, what was the apprehension there? Or was there any apprehension, or you just kept putting it on the back burner, or what?
When I became a real estate agent, business was coming to me left and right. And I was still trying to learn that game as well. There's a lot
Mhm.
of stuff that I was still trying to learn. Even though my mobile home business was still it was still, right there on my shoulder. It was just still that I was trying to get that real estate down pat. I had buyers, I had sellers that was coming, and I was busy. I was extremely busy. And then when it started slowing down, that's when I said, okay, I got to get into it. And Kelly, to tell you the truth, it's so funny that when I started getting into it, I had purchased your course
Okay.
and I went into this community. I walked in there, okay, I'm dressed like a real estate agent. Like I'm out here in the streets, I'm suited up. And I walk in,
Uh-huh.
my business card, my mobile home business card.
Okay.
And when I tell you I blew that, I blew it. That lady had me stumbling in my words. I mean, I said I would never go into that park ever again. I said
Okay.
she was a fast talker. I couldn't get nothing out. What do you want? What are you doing? It was all of that. And it just my nerves were just all over the place. And I said, you know what? I never go into that park again. And this park is probably about 20 minutes from my house.
Okay.
And that kind of set me back just a little bit because I'm like,
Okay.
I went in there, hey, I'm a real estate agent, but I'm a mobile home specialist. I just didn't have it. I just didn't have it down. I didn't know what to ask. I didn't know what to say to this woman. I was just in there thinking, you know, just because you dressed a certain way and you got a real estate agent license that don't work
That
that
wasn't
way.
gonna fly. So this woman we're referring to, is this the mobile home park manager that we talking about?
Yes.
Okay. All right. And it's kind of funny how people sometimes let the park manager intimidate them because sometimes they don't even have a license.
No.
Sometimes they don't even have a license. But
Mm-mm.
anyway, you came in there, you wasn't dressed, because you don't need any more than a little t-shirt,
That's
some
it.
jeans, and call it a day.
That's
But
it.
you went in there overdressed and she kind of like shot you down. And then so let's go fast forward to you just recently closed the deal, your first deal. Let's fast forward to that.
And this is funny. You know where that deal came from? You
Where
know
did it come
what?
from?
That very park.
Wow. Wow.
That very
Okay.
part. And this
Mm.
is how the deal came about. And this is why wear your shirt,
All right. All right. All right.
advertise, talk to everybody, having a conversation with the woman in the bank, older woman. Come to find out she was 73 years old. And she goes on to say, I have a mobile home that I'm trying to sell, and I got to get out of this park because they no longer want me in there, and I got to go. And she was just it was a sad situation. Well, I was like, I would love to help you, and she gave me the address to where the mobile home was. And when I looked at the address, I said, oh my goodness. I sure hope that lady is no longer working there. I hope she has moved on. And I mean, I was just thinking this. I said, but I'm gonna have to call Kelly. She's gonna have to help me. She's gonna have to give me the verbiage,
Okay.
what I need to say, what I need to do. So I went and I looked at the mobile home. The mobile home on the outside, it was shabby. It was a little shabby. And on the inside, it was even worse.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, okay, I gotta help her. I really gotta help her because she was an older lady and she had health issues. She had fallen a couple of times and she really needed to get up out of there. And she wasn't happy in the park. So I, did my 3 walkthroughs and she was walking with me and talking and she was telling me how much she wanted for the mobile home. I said, okay. I said, I want to, do my homework and run some comps. I said, but I got to go back up here and talk to the park manager and find out, because they have the first right of refusal, and I got to make sure, they don't want it. She said, oh no, they don't want it. She said, I can tell you that right now. She said, I offered it to them, and they told me the most that they would do for me is tear it down free. I said, oh really? And
Wow.
she was like, yeah. So that's when I called you. I didn't go that day to the
Okay.
park.
Mm-hmm.
I called you the next day, the next morning. Kelly, what's the verge with? Because they do have the first right of refusal. I mean, what I need to say. And you said, just say. you're interested in buying it and you want to make sure that they don't want it. So I kept it brief with them. But when I walked in this time, I was
Okay.
dressed down, and I went in there just saying hello, to everyone. And same lady came out. And I told her, I said, hey, I was in here to inquire about, the mobile home for such and such at this address. And she said, oh, yeah. She said, you need to make sure you go look at it. And she said, because it's horrible. It's in a bad mess. And I don't think you're going to want to buy it. You don't want to fool with it. And then I said, well, I've already, looked at it. And I said, I am interested. Are you? You need to go look at it again. You really need to go look. I told her 3 times, I have done a thorough walkthrough. So, she went on to tell me the part requirements and everything, but needless to say, we bonded. We bonded very well. But
Gotcha.
I think I those do's and don'ts, that I did the first time, okay, Cassandra, you walk in and you just, ask for requirements, let this lady talk and you abide by whatever she said. And that's exactly what I did. But I went up there a couple of times, in the middle of this, trying to get things together, sending people up there, but she was trying her best to tell me, do not purchase that mobile home. It needs to be torn down. She told me if I find a buyer, they're gonna have to move it out of the park. And I was like, oh, okay. All right. She said, yeah, we want it gone. It has to go. It has to go. I said, okay. I said, I understand. And I, started inquiring about movers, and she wasn't too helpful with that. So I knew I was on my own because she, for whatever reason, just didn't want my hands on that mobile home. That's what I felt. But I later learned why. So Kelly, you was a little angel that came to me and said, when I told you, I said, Kelly, it has to be moved. And you said, ask her if you beautify the outside, can it stay? And
Mm-hmm.
it took a couple of days to try to contact her because she was out sick. I would go up there and they said, no, she's not back in the office, but I really wanted to specifically deal with her. So I finally got her in the office and I walked in and I said, hey, I said, I got a quick question for you. I said, if I find a buyer and they beautify the outside of the park, can it stay? She said, absolutely, it sure can. And that was
Wow.
music to my ears. That was music to my ears. So, Kelly, I marketed that house on January the 18th, the day
Okay.
after my birthday. I marketed that house and on Facebook Marketplace. And when I tell you the hits was coming in, I priced it at, I've done my comps and the walkthrough and knew all the work that it had, to be done in that mobile home. I told her, I said, I know you said you want, first she said 4,000. Then she came back. She said, well, I really need 5. I need 5. I said, well, I said, after running the comps, I said, I'm gonna try to get what I can. I said, but after running the comps and all the issues and damages that I see that's going on, I said, we may land right at 8. So you may get 4.
Uh-huh.
She was fine with that. So, she signed, the purchase and sale agreement, and I went ahead and got it marketed on Facebook Marketplace, got all that. I had over 1,300 hits. People were just hitting me up left and right.
Wow.
I didn't put a for sale sign because she still lived there and I didn't want people knocking on her door or anything like that. But what I did, I started when people would hit me up, I would just communicate back with them and tell them, hey, it's a private tour and if you want to see it, I would be there between these hours, usually between 4 and 5. If you want to see it, come between these hours. And they would come. They would say, okay, I'm coming. I say, well, and I wouldn't give them the address. The address came if they hit me up the next day and say, hey, Cassandra, I'm on my way. What's the address? Then I would get them the address. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was kind of getting a little antsy because she had to be out by the 29th of this month. And here it was, the 10th, the 11th, well, not the 10th, 11th, but the night, the 20th. And Super Bowl weekend, I did I did an open house. And I said, it was on a Saturday. It was cold, rain. I said, nobody will probably come, but I'm going to be there just in case. There was a no-show. Nobody came. But I was there in the cold, in the rain.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and that I I kept assuring her, it's going to sell. We're showing this house. Someone is going to show. I promise you, it's going to sell. And plus, I had word of mouth going as well. And this one lady came. I just knew she was going to get it. She was a young mother. She had two kids, and she said, "I have my handyman coming. He's going to give me a price as to how much it's gonna cost to do everything. I want this. I want this home." I said, "Okay," but she ended up getting. I said I sent her to the park to get approved. I said, "First, we need to, get you approved for the park before anything else." But she ended up getting into it with the park manager. So,
What?
I so my
You
goodness.
had made amends with the park manager, and she go over there and it's causing some problem. So what happened between them two?
She goes up there. She asked the park manager what was the lot rent. The park manager gave her a price of the lot rent, and she started questioning the lot rent and talking about fair housing and all this and all that.
Mm-mm.
So the girl called me after she spoke with the park manager and told me what happened.
Okay.
And I was like, she said, and all I wanted her to do was write down everything that was wrong with the park, what everything that she wanted done to the mobile home in order for it to stay in the park. I wanted her to write that down.
Okay.
And I said, well, that's really not her job to write that
Mm-hmm.
down. She's not the owner of that mobile home. I
Mm-hmm.
said, the owner will probably do it. I said, but that's not her. She said, well, I want her to do it because if something comes back, then, that I didn't do, and, then they're going to try to make me leave and all this and all that. So it was, Kelly, that part was horrible.
Mm-hmm.
I went up the next day to apologize to her myself. I said, I am so sorry. I said, I had no idea she was coming and it was going to be all that. I mean, coming and talking all that. I knew she was,
Right.
going. I said, because she needed to get approved for the part. I said, but I didn't know it was going to be that. And the part manager said, Cassandra, don't worry about it. But she was saying this and saying that. She said, I just don't think she's going to be a good fit for the part. And
Right.
well, it may not. I said, I just don't think it will work out because, she's taking too long. And I already got another girl that I'm getting ready to meet today. And then I said, right when I'm getting ready to leave, I said, oh, I gotta go. I said, she's there right now. And then she asked me, she said, what's her name? And I told her the girl's name. And she started clapping and dancing and doing this. I said, why? I said, what's going on? She said, she's an investor. She's already approved for this park. And she knows all the do's and don'ts, and she owns mobile homes in this park already. I said, oh, really? I said, well, let me go talk to her.
Right.
I go back to the mobile home and I'm talking to her. And her, she barely speak English, but she brought her husband with her. And her husband, was saying, after they did the walkthrough, he said, my wife like to just kind of get down to business. And I said, I do too. So
Mm-hmm.
he said, because we marketed at 12,000. And she goes, would you take 10? I said, we would take 10. Yes, absolutely. And I looked at my seller because they had already, she was there.
Okay.
My seller was there every time somebody came, she was there. And I didn't care about the meeting. Because she already knew the deal. She knew how, this is how it worked. I explained to her my fees. She was perfectly okay with everything. And so the buyer goes and she said, so the bank has closed, so there's nothing I can do today. She said, but I can come tomorrow, whatever time you want me to come back, Cassandra. She said, I'll be here. She said, so you want a certified check or you want cash? And I said, a certified check would be okay. My seller goes, I want cash.
Oh, okay.
And then I said, well, cash it is. I said, cash it.
Mm-hmm.
And so we met the next day at 4 o'clock, and we closed that deal right there in the middle of that mobile home, where we could find a space. She counted, I counted. She counted, I counted. and we did the bill of sale and we were done. We were done. I mean, I was like, wait a minute. I thought it was over. I was like, now what just happened? Because I'm a real estate agent. And at my
Right.
closings, it takes me, first of all, I'm ripping and running, especially if it's a buyer, even with my sellers. I work hard. I work hard for what I
Hmm.
made on that mobile home transaction. I work hard for my real estate than what I made at the mobile home. So it was like easy breezy, Kelly. I could not believe I had just I had that $5,000 in cash in my hand. I'm like, okay, I got
Wow.
it in.
So
But yeah,
so the seller wind up getting the 5,000 she wanted,
she got her
and then
5,000,
you got five thousand
and
dollars
I got 5,000.
in a matter of days.
In a matter, it went from January 18th and we closed on February 16th.
Okay. All right. For a mobile
But
home,
but
you didn't even own.
that I didn't even own.
Gotcha.
Did
Okay,
not.
so what's the but? What's the but?
But I would say this. I mean, because you were saying a matter of days. You're absolutely right as far as that transaction, because that transaction took place on February the 15th, 15th, and the 16th. We were done. I mean, from meeting that seller to making that transaction, that was it. But Kelly, I added up my hours and I was like, how long did it? Because I mean, honestly, I was sitting in there and I calculated everything. I keep, how long I was at this place, how long I was at, when I went over there on this date, how long was I there? I was there to do this whole deal was 6.5 hours.
Wow.
6.5 hours.
Wow. Wow. So that's
When I
amazing.
That's from communicating with people, meeting people to come over there to tour. 6.5 hours.
Wow, that's
Unbelievable.
amazing. So, Cassandra, have I created a monster or not?
You have created a monster.
Okay. All right.
You have created a monster. You have. I couldn't
Okay.
wait to send you that picture of me holding that cash. I could
I know.
not.
I think I was sleeping, and then I woke up and I seen that text message. You had all that cash. I'm like, man, congratulations. So yeah, congratulations on that. So
You.
you're a realtor. You're a mobile home investor. You've closed your first deal. Would it be fair to say that it's quicker to do mobile homes than the single family home side of it?
From my experience, absolutely. Yes.
Okay.
Because it took me no time, honestly, to do that deal. And I had fun doing it. I'm a fun person. I like to have fun. If it ain't fun, I don't do it. I actually had fun with my newfound friend. She's my friend now. I've had
Hmm.
fun with her. We have laughed and laughed so much, just being there at that home. And I go by now because she doesn't have to be out until the 29th. So I do stop by occasionally just to see how her moving along is going. And I just love it. I absolutely love it. I'm like, okay, now I got to get out here. And you talking about driving for dollars? Now when you see mobile homes, you stopping. You stop. I'm stopping. I'm writing down addresses. I'm doing this. Oh, I got to come. I got to go and meet them.
Right. Right, right. Exactly.
You have
Exactly.
created a monster. Absolutely.
Okay then. Okay. So, what was so wrong with the home? That it had to be gone.
Listen, the outside. Okay, the skirting. It was barely hanging on. The
Mm-hmm.
skirting did need to be replaced. She had originally said she wanted the siding replaced, and it was a shed that was in front of the mobile home. She said she wanted torn down, but other than that, oh, and the windows needed to be replaced. They really did. And
Mm-hmm.
other than that, it was a nice, solid, mobile home. But the lady that purchased it, all she did, she said she's just gonna pressure wash it but change out the skirting and also, change out the windows. But other than that, now on the inside, in the wash and dryer, the wash and dryer little laundry room area, there was a big old hole where, some damages had been done there. The master
Mm-hmm.
a bath tub. It was like a garden tub. It was cracked. It wasn't working. But other than that, Kelly, that was a solid mobile home. Now she had a lot of stuff in there. You would thought that it was a storage house for her because every
Uh-huh.
room was full of stuff. I mean, for me to walk through, I was having to move stuff just to make sure there was no holes in the floors or no soft areas. I was honestly having to move stuff and, bounce on it and all of that. And that was a job in itself. That really was. But other than that, that was a solid mobile home. And the lady, her husband that purchased it, he was showing me pictures of mobile homes that he had, renovated. And when I tell you, oh my goodness, I said, I'm coming back here to see what you're going to do with this mobile home. He said, you won't even know it. You won't even.
Wow.
So hopefully we can do some more deals together. Because he said, if you have any more, he said, please, please let
Look
us
at
know.
that. Look at that. So you done build a relationship with the park manager. Y'all didn't get along at first. You done built a relationship with the seller, and now you done built a relationship with a buyer. And is he a contractor or a handyman? You done built a relationship with
Handyman,
him too.
handyman, and a good one. A good one. When I tell you the pictures and the videos that he was showing me, he said, you're not even going to know this home. He said, you won't even
Wow. Wow. And
believe
so
it.
Cassandra, next time if you find another deal similar to this in another park, you can call on him.
Absolutely.
You can call him.
Oh,
They might not want to buy it, but you can find you another buyer and say, "Hey, I got somebody who can just, make this
that's
really
right.
nice."
Absolutely. That's right. Yeah. So he is definitely in my contact.
Wow, wow. And so what year mobile home was that in the beds and baths?
It was a 1995. It was three bedrooms and two baths.
Wow. Wow. Huh. Okay then. And what was the lot rent?
Lot rent was 690.
Okay. And did they allow for renting in that particular park?
Yeah, absolutely. And I asked her, the seller, I said, what are you going to do with it? She says, I'm going to rent it out. She has
Wow.
the mobile homes in there she rent out. So I was like, okay.
Wow, wow. And then too, Cassandra, when you think about buying and holding eventually, look, you got somebody who knows how to fix up stuff.
That's it. That's it. And my
Wow.
thing was, I said, okay, I'm a wholesale for a minute, just for a little while to get my capital up so that I can start buying and holding. Then I got
Right.
to thinking, well, it depends on how much you can, get for that mobile home because you already got someone that can fix it up. So hopefully my buying and holding will come sooner, you know.
Right. Wow, that is amazing. So, were there any other obstacles going on with this deal? Because I know when you called me, I sat there and thinking, because we ran into the same situation. Me and my brother were in the midst of buying a mobile home, and they said before this is the park manager, she was like, before you even think about selling that, the outside got to look like this. You better have this, 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 and this, and then the mobile home had window units, and we had to get central air. And so it's best to get it written down, what you need, in order to sell it to somebody else, because that was back in the day when we were seller financing.
Mhm.
So, wow, that's just amazing, amazing what you did. So, was there any issues with the seller and the buyer meeting, or later on in the future, would you allow them to meet, or does it even matter? Or you were just so transparent, it didn't make a difference?
It did not make a difference. And in the beginning, I was a little worried about that. I was like, okay, how am I going to handle this? Because she's still living in the mobile home. Um, and I got to thinking about a for sale sign. Then I said, oh, no, don't put a for sale sign in there because she's still living there. And she didn't drive. So it's
Okay.
not like she could have left the house. One other thought that came to my mind, I said, well, while I'm showing the property, I'll just have her go sit in my car. And then I got to thinking, I'm not going to do that to her because she had, took like two falls back to back. And, I said, I'm not going to have her walking. I said, I'm not even worried.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I think because when I met them, I introduced myself as a real estate agent to them. They knew. I guess they just know, okay, she's probably, you know, they know
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna get paid. I'm not gonna
Okay.
just, um, doing this for free,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
we don't work for free. So, but I did not even, and my buyer, not buyer, my seller was she was so loyal. She even told me, she said, Cassandra, if anybody come back to this house, I just tell them they need to talk with you. You're representing me.
Right.
And I said, that's absolutely right. I said, you just focus on getting packed up, trying to, get things situated, and you just let me worry about, getting your mobile home. So I never worried about the meeting. Not
Okay.
at all.
Okay. And you know what, Cassandra, I don't know if you know the answer or not. Would it be safe to say, because of the relationship you built with the park manager, let's just say you weren't able to close in the time they wanted it to be sold? Do you think you could have gotten an extension,
I
honestly speaking?
I honestly think I could have,
Mm-hmm.
because it got to the point now when I would walk through those doors, if she's on the phone, she would just tell me to come on, come on in the office. She'd be like, you know, I think because of the relationship that we had, and that was like a plan B. Because you gotta think, okay, if it doesn't sell, I gotta ask for an extension, you
Mm-hmm.
know. But I did have a plan B, all the way down to Z, what I'm gonna have to do in case it does not. And I knew, just communicate with her. And the more I kept communicating, and not just a phone call, but Cassandra, stop up there and go and talk with her.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
that's what I started doing. We were talking, and I would tell her, I said, well, there's people that I try to help, find housing for, that they're not ready, be sent to my lender. I said, I would like to send them to you and see what you can do to help them. And then, maybe later on they'll be ready, when it comes to their financial situation. And she liked that. She's like, oh, really? Because I did send one person up there to her. I said, they're not ready to buy, but I told them about your community and gave her name, and I said, but they're becoming, I said, it may not be this week, and maybe, I said, just give them a couple of weeks, but they're coming just to see what you have. I said,
Mm-hmm.
because I asked her, I said, do you have anything? And she said, not at this time. She said, the last thing I had pulled in was this trailer over here. She said, but I don't have anything right now. I said, but will it be okay for them to come, just to you talk with them and let them know what it's about, what the community is about? And she said,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely. So, I just think with us communicating would have brought me some time if I needed it.
Gotcha. So, Cassandra, how do y'all close the deals out there in Georgia, and how do you check for liens and all that good stuff?
Well, we closed the deal at the DMV. If we, and on this sale, I offered to go with her up to the DMV after we had, after my seller had signed her title over. But with her being an investor, she said, "Oh no, I understand. I got it. You don't have to go." I said, "Okay." But yeah, we can check the liens just by going online. And my seller, she's 73 years old, but let me tell you, she felt like she needed to prove to me that there was no liens, and she got on her little laptops and she went to the website. And I
Right.
told her, I said, I trust you. I said, because I said, I know exactly how to, check the liens, or you make phone calls or whatever. But she was very proactive, just to print off and show me that I have no liens on it. It's free and clear. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's easy breezy for us in the state of Georgia and DMV.
Okay. And what about the taxes? How much were the taxes for that particular mobile home, or do you know?
Her taxes, well, she had her receipt for the past year of taxes, but her taxes was only like $90
Right. $90 a year for a mobile home. And
that was
that's
coming
amazing.
due. That was coming due on April the 1st. 90,
Yeah.
yeah.
So that's a big difference from single family homes. The
Huge
tax.
difference. Absolutely.
Wow. 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 So, Cassandra, do you have any like words of wisdom for somebody trying to get in the mobile home business or might have a little analysis paralysis? In your case, you didn't have analysis paralysis. You kind of had like a couple of things going on the burners. So, do you have any advice for somebody?
Oh, Kelly, yes. I'll tell them, listen, I know a lot of people, it's the fear. It's just the fear of the unknown, honestly. the fear of want to have everything in place. Just do it and
Mm-hmm.
do it scared because that's to me that's how you learn. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, the first time I went up there and I spoke with that first part manager, that was it for me. Not to say that I didn't go talk to other people because I would talk with the neighbors, not in that particular part,
Right.
but I mean, it would just, it wasn't so much the fear anymore because I think I said, okay, I know what I did wrong. But when I tell other people about this mobile home business, and I was telling them, you got to get, it's easy to say I want to do it, but get somebody that's going to be there for you that can hold your hand.
Mm-hmm.
Invest in a course that you can listen to over and over and over again. And just do it. Do it. I mean, now I have a schedule. I have a schedule when I work my mobile home business. I have a schedule as to what I'm gonna do, but just do it and do it scared because you're gonna learn the most. And just know, I mean, what helped me this time around, Kelly, was knowing honestly that I had you.
Oh, that's so
I
sweet.
am not lying. I said, you know what? Because you know what? I don't know if you remember, but when I purchased your course and you asked me, you said, have you ever purchased a course before? I said, yes, I have. I said, but listen, this time I need somebody that's going to be there to hold my hand,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and all it takes is to hold my hand one time. And I know my next transaction may not be this transaction. They're
Right.
gonna, it's gonna be some different transactions. I'm gonna have to reach out to my Kelly again.
Good,
But
good.
I was like, hey, I'm buying another course and I need to go with someone that's very authentic, someone that can just say, hey, give it to me straight and that can just answer text message. It doesn't always have to be a phone call, but I may have a serious question that I just need a quick answer. Other than
Mm-hmm.
that, I would just tell people those two things. Get your course, get your good mentor, and do it scared. Just do it. Just get started. Do it because I'm gonna tell you, by me doing that, Kelly, it changes the whole game of everything for me. Because sometimes when you're in the real estate, the real property, the real estate portion of it, you have to really market yourself, to find out where your next deal is coming. If you're not getting referrals from your company or you're not paying for referrals, sometimes you gotta really be on it as to where your next deal is coming from. You gotta
Mm-hmm.
eat, you got bills you gotta pay. And
Mm-hmm.
this is my backup plan as to how to get it done.
Wow. So would you say there's less competition in the mobile home game than the single family home game?
I think so. I'm here in the state of Georgia, and I'm north of Atlanta, Georgia, in an area called Flowery Branch, Georgia. And I'm sure it's some competition, but it is definitely less competition. There's all we there's so many real estate agents, and in my area, and there's a lot of competition, and it's not friendly. It's not
Okay.
friendly competition. Um,
Mm-hmm.
it's friendly on my part because I only compete with myself. I don't compete with anybody else. I try to be the best version of me. And I would tell anybody, just look at what you can do. It's enough mobile home space for all of us. We don't have to, be in competition of one another. It's a lot. It's mobile homes. There's so much mobile homes around here. It's unreal. And you don't
Mm-hmm.
have to be locally to do mobile home. You know, I
Mm-hmm.
I have family in other states. Then I'm putting the word, like I said, you don't create a monster. I'm calling everybody in every state.
Good, good for you. And you know what, Cassandra, when you contacted me, you text me like I tell all my students, text me first. I still work. I never tell my students to quit their job. I said, text me first. Give me a couple of hours. You don't hear from me, then you can call me, right? And then when you message me, I said, hey, you want to get on the Zoom? Because I prefer getting on the Zoom versus, telephone
Yeah,
call.
yeah.
I
We're
told you
big
that,
on
right?
that.
I was
Yep,
like, you
we
need
sure did.
anything else? Let me know. And then when you contacted me, they said you told me it had to be moved by a certain date. I said, man, well, ask them can it stay if they beautify the outside. And it took you like maybe 2 days, right? And you got back to me. It was like, Kelly, it could stay. And then boy, you
Yes,
put the pedal to the metal after that.
that was it. That's all I need to know. And I didn't even think of that. That's why I
Mm,
tell people sometimes, and I just think it's just so important to have someone that
mm-hmm,
has the knowledge, because I would have never thought of that in a million years. When I tell you, I was lining up movers and trying to get this deal done, because in my mind it's got to be moved. It's got to be.
right.
But when you said that, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna ask. And when
Mm,
I mean, when I said if they beautify it to the standard of the part, can it stay? And she said, absolutely. She was excited. She said,
right.
absolutely. And I'm like, okay,
Mm.
it's game over. This is a big deal.
And you know what, Cassandra, she was probably excited because she knows once that mobile home get moved, then the park gotta buy another mobile home to replace it, or they're gonna be losing revenue.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So she knew that too, that hey, we got to get this, because after my seller leaves, she knows, you know, you could be missing 30 days of lot rent or more. That's right.
Exactly. Exactly. So, Cassandra, where do you see yourself 5 years from now in the mobile home business?
Kelly, I want to purchase land. And it's so funny because I have it up here on my wall, my goal,
Okay,
and that is my goal, is to purchase land and put mobile homes on land.
gotcha.
It's my
Got
goal. And also, that's one of my goals.
okay.
But I also want to, because I like to help people that can't afford housing. Is crazy out here. I'm currently working with the buyer who's been approved, and we can't find her anything. But what she been approved for, the only thing we can find is a 2 bedroom, 2 baths.
Okay.
He wants a 3-2
Well, are we
and
talking single family home or mobile home?
single family.
I got you.
This is
Mm-hmm.
how much housing has gone up.
Mm-hmm.
So I do want to, this is the one reason why mobile home is so dear to me now, because they can purchase a mobile home, and own it right out, even
Right.
if they just got to pay for the lot rent, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But it's so hard, at least until they get themselves established.
Right.
Then they can start, looking for single family homes. But I would like to, go into Section 8,
Mm-hmm.
with the mobile homes. And I know that's something you do. I love when you talk about it. I've listened to, the course about it. So I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
this is where I'm trailing.
Okay. So now you can offer the people, like you say, this lady, she can't qualify because, I guess it's a money issue, whatever the case may be. You can offer the mobile home, even though it's inside of a park, but if it's inside of a park that allows for renting, guess what? They could go and rent that mobile home out that they purchased. When they go get that single family home, they can have that money coming in.
That's right. That's right. Absolutely. So
Wow.
you just want to set them up. And I love helping people. And when I hear their story and they come to me and they want to buy a house, hey, I got a mobile home for you. Why don't we, look at doing this, for this, certain amount of time, and then we can revisit the situation. Like you said, you own this mobile home right out. Now you can rent it out. Yeah,
Exactly. Exactly. All right. So Cassandra, you want to give people your contact number or your email, how they can contact you if they have any deals out there? Well, period,
absolutely.
not just in Georgia, but it's period. You want to throw your
Absolutely.
information out there?
Yes, yes, yes. Well, you can always find me on Facebook, and that's going to be at Cassandra Banks, Cassandra with one S. Just type Cassandra. And a lot of people can't find me because they type two S. So I would keep stressing that one S. And my Instagram is Cassandra Banks underscore. You can also reach me there. Or you can email me at cassandrabanks@gmail.com.
All right, guys, there you have it. That's my student, Cassandra Banks. I'm so excited. I tell you what, Cassandra, when you sent me that text message with all that money, I was like, man. I was so happy and so proud. I'll tell you what, I was excited
Oh,
for you. So I greatly appreciate you coming on here and sharing your story.
well, Kelly, you are so welcome, but thank you because let me tell you, I honestly believe, because that was my first one. I honestly feel I could have not done it without you. So thank you, thank you,
I
thank you,
appreciate
thank you. And you lived up to what you told me when I brought your course. You lived up to every word.
I
And
appreciate
and
it.
all I needed was that one.
I know,
I
because I
got
know
it.
you
I
had
got
said
it
in that
now.
text message, you ready to rock and roll now.
Yes,
So,
yes, yes. But
okay
thank you
then.
from the bottom of my heart. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you so much, Cassandra. All right, guys, there we have it. Cassandra Banks. She gave y'all her information, and y'all got any deals, not even in the state of Georgia, wherever she can help you guys out. Again, congratulations, Cassandra, and thank you for being on here.
Thank you.